Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lightbringer. This is going to be pretty fun. Everybody ran into, or I should say, unlocked, uncovered, discovered, whatever adjective you'd like, or I guess verb, whatever. They ran into a goddess, and we're going to find out how they deal with that today. Before we jump into the story, though, I'm going to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves, and then I'll cover how we do viewer actions. So you can actually, as a viewer, affect the story, make changes to what's going on, and participate in the show. So it's pretty cool. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll jump right into what's going on in the story. Starting out, we've got Michael. Tell us a little bit about Billy and yourself.
Hello there, I'm Michael Wayne on Twitter. Billy is in an odd position where they're about to meet the god they said they were going to help. So let's hope there's no blood sacrifices involved.
Oh, there's going to be several.
Dang
I mean, what?
Oh well, I'm prepared. I got enough blood.
I love it. Next, we would normally have Econorlax. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here tonight, but they are absolutely amazing. They play Nira, who is a Kataran, so sort of a half cat, half human type race, and even for Katarans, she's short, so she's like 2 feet nothing, or 2 feet and just a little bit of change, something like that. Fantastic character. So what'll happen is I will sort of act for Nira when absolutely necessary, but otherwise we'll have Nira just sort of in the background. Next, we've got Gwen. Tell us a little bit about Xavier and yourself.
Xavier is just curious and sweet and curious. And currently wants to kill gods.
Kill?
Yeah.
We're still
That's,
wait.
Wait,
a lot of
that's a
verbs.
different character. That's a different character. Never mind. Xavier's not there yet.
No, yeah, that's on the track.
It was a
I was gonna say
completely
that-
different character.
That does seem like a bit of an escalation.
Sorry, I was thinking of a different character. Completely.
No worries. No worries at all. And Xavier's also a bit conflicted because you've got both light and dark magic in equal
Yes,
portions.
light
at
and
the
dark
moment.
magic, and wants neither of them at the moment.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. Callan, tell us a little bit about Conrad and yourself.
Yes. Hello. Hi, everyone. If Xavier has equal portions, Conrad does not. I will once again be taking up the mantle, the role of one Conrad Bentley, our sort of skittish young British engineer mechanic in training. Recently taking up his a newfound hobby of being a dark wizard, trying to protect his friends. So we'll see how that goes. Currently in a Church of Light, where the only magic he can practice results in, being hurled across rooms and sort of bursting into light. So fingers
As demonstrated
crossed,
by Xavier.
as demonstrated so helpfully by Xavier last week. So fingers crossed he won't be sort of called into action while here. And also, hopefully Kara doesn't blow his cover. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But I mentioned viewer. Oh, go ahead.
Find me here every week or on Twitter. Or is that the? I'm still waking up. I think that's the process here, right?
It is.
Yes. Excellent.
I jumped to the gun on that one.
No, you got it.
You were correct. So, as I mentioned, viewer actions. You can actually help our brave band of kids as they try to heal their planet, basically, at this point. or you can even hinder them and help me with the evil characters. It's entirely up to you, but there's a number of ways that you can do so. One of the easiest and a free way is through the game tweet. So it's right there in chat. Every 5 interactions on that includes likes, retweets, and comments, excuse me, will result in a D4 to the cast and to the DM. So you can help everybody out equally there that way. You can also do a bunch of stuff with guild coins. If you look at the round rainbow-colored icon below your Twitch chat box, those are guild coins, which you get for watching the stream and interacting and things like that. And there's a lot of things that you can spend those on. If you click on the icon, it'll show you what those are. And then finally, if you want to donate monetarily, so through coffee.com/raven, raven.rocks, or through Patreon, also subscriptions and bits. There's a lot of different ways that you can do so. You can do a lot of things which are on the chart below my face here. So I mentioned Patreon. For our Bard tier and higher patrons, you get starting at $15 worth of credit every month to spend on these viewer actions as you like. So that's an option. And then, of course, all the other donation methods that I mentioned. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory, but some of them that might not be is the switch. It allows somebody to tell another player, you need to change the action that you were about to do. So for example, if Tenebrae was about to smite Xavier with some dark spell, the cast could throw out a switch. The cast could throw out a switch, and I would have to change the word smite to something else that's not a direct synonym.
Heals.
Yeah, exactly. It could be something like that. Now, I would get to choose because the switch was played on me, but it can't be a direct synonym, so it can be pretty interesting. Other ones that may not be self-explanatory. Not at all. Not at all. That's just an example. It may not actually happen. Probably won't actually happen, but it could. You know, you never know.
I feel attacked.
Borrowed success. Borrowed success means that the player will automatically succeed at whatever it is they are trying to do. However, there is a caveat that every roll afterwards, I'll roll a d20, and if it comes up 15, then that was the success that they used. So you succeed in the short term, but in the long term, you may lose a success down the line, and it might be a really important one. So there's a little bit of a gamble with that one. Complication allows you to throw literally anything into the game that you would like. You kind of get to be the DM for a second there. And then finally, the swap 2 players for 5 minutes means that players play each other's characters for 5 minutes. And you get to choose who that is, and that includes the game master. So you can put another player into the hot seat for 5 minutes if you want to. It's pretty fun. It's always good for a laugh, and it can make things pretty interesting. So that is all the viewer action. Speaking of guild coins, I do see we've had a object placement done. Hey, thanks for that $2 donation, Michael. I am assuming that is a D6 to the cast. Perfect. I will get that on the board. So we had object placement, 10 live sardines bounce off of Kara's head. All right, I will work that in just a moment.
So a strong start.
Yeah, so speaking of that, jumping into the game, when we left off, you all had uncovered basically the sort of prison cell inside Kara's temple, if you will. This old, abandoned, broken down cathedral.
Which Xavier tried to open with magic and got blown backward.
You did get thrown across the cathedral because you used dark magic on a light magic door.
As a brief reminder, because this is incredibly important for me spiritually, for how long will Xavier have a sort of sunglass tattoo burned into their face?
At least a couple of days.
Okay, a mark of their hubris. Good. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Couple days.
Couple days. I'll keep a tally.
So yes, so last time Xavier decided to try and put on sunglasses because it was blindingly bright in there. Makes sense. However, Xavier decided to use dark magic to make these sunglasses, and it doesn't react great with with the light magic. So essentially has like a reverse tan line of sunglasses on their face.
That's all I wanted.
It's pretty great. But when we left off, you'd found Kara in sort of this like this glass sort of looking almost like a coffin. And she had turned to you all and looked at you as we ended the last session. What are your reactions to that? She's obviously sort of trapped inside this coffin. What do you do? What do you say?
Billy's face is mashed up against the crystal and tries to go, I need help! Like this one.
Like in the aquarium.
Oh,
Billy, that
I wonder.
Can you hear us? Okay, thank you for translating.
Kara just looks at you all and goes, yes, I can hear you.
Oh. Well, that's good. How about you two take the lead? Just sort of like looking at Kara, sort of going back and forth between everybody, trying to get a vibe here.
Is there anything we can do to help?
I'm presently imprisoned here by my older brother. I don't know how you can get this coffin opened.
Before we try anything, does anyone else think that this might be a cheese problem?
Excuse me?
Well,
A trap is what he's saying.
yeah, like,
A
As you
cheese
say
problem.
that,
well, because it's where the cheese is what you want. It's in a trap. If you grab for it, you're gonna get clamped by the trap, and it's not fun. And then you got a trap on your nose, and then go to your dad to get it oiled off.
Okay, this is a specific analogy, Billy. It sounds as though you're drawing from some experience. Those are for vermin, for small rodents.
Okay, I can't help it. It's so yummy. Okay.
to be fair, you all seem like rodents to Tenebrae, so.
Yeah.
But as you're having that conversation, oddly enough, how many was it? 10 live sardines bounce on Kara's head inside this coffin and flop around, and she just looks very confused.
She looks
And
confused.
is like, for a moment, and looks around and looks down at these things that are now flopping around her feet. And she's like, I see you all have had help.
Yes, but do you understand the nature of this force that has been aiding us, and or sort of dunking on the people we meet?
She just sort of smiles, and it's that sort of soft, small smile of someone who's in a very bad situation but finding some small amusement, some little bit of joy. And she gives you that sort of smile and says, yes, that is one of my more devout followers from the old days. One who ascended to be something like me.
Fascinating.
It's good to know that they are still around.
I suppose it's...
I'm curious, because do you know what the magic word is?
There are many magic words. Was there something specific you were looking for, Billy?
You're not.
The...
Oh my god, this is her!
Well,
Jack,
hang
this is
on.
her!
Hang on. Wait, let's wind it back for a moment. My sort of compatriot is trying to ascertain whether or not you were the same force that we met.
I am Kara.
No, you're not!
Why?
Because Kara knows the magic word, and you don't know it!
Which magic word, Billy? There are many magic words.
There's a particular sort of benign magic word that Billy is very fond of, and I believe that they shared it with you when you met.
Yes.
Okay. Help the DM out. I don't remember. What was it?
It's please.
Yes.
Please? Okay. So, okay. So Car goes, do you mean please?
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's not a literal magic word, but it is a very good word.
It's
Okay, it is literal magic because it gets people to do things.
okay. Kara, Miss
Yes.
Kara, just if you could give us a brief second to confer with my compatriots, and I just sort of turn to the side. All right, chums, Billy, let's level the tone out a tiny bit. Let's remember that your first interaction with this force was to burn several of its holy texts.
Hey, she was okay with that. Looks don't matter. Belief matters, and I believe in her.
Okay, you literally did not think that she was really her 4 seconds ago. So this idea of your devout faith sort of being imminently shakeable concerns me a tiny bit.
Okay,
I think
I know Kira. Kira asked me, as in did not know the word, asked it, was very almost as if like a newborn, like didn't know things, and this Kira knows things.
Right, she's piecing things together. Let's just take it easy. Let's assume that this is her, because by like sort of looking at Xavier, all signs point to yes. And let's sort of let's just hear her out, see what she has to say, and work out what our next plan should be. All right?
Yes, but isn't it a little too easy that children and are going up against gods have gotten to a point which we were supposed to not go by someone that claims to be a god? It feels as though like maybe we're in a trap where we are gonna be doing something we don't think.
We've got some help in making it this far. We've got, your powerful magic, the three of you, your connection to this Kara, that's sort of shepherded us this way.
Then why didn't she recognize me then?
What about
did,
your
Billy.
magic?
Oh, what about my magic, Xavier? It's not proved particularly useful thus far. It's been handy here and there in a pinch, but I wouldn't,
That's because you don't use it very often.
Yes, that's exactly right. I don't share the same connection with Kara that you do, so it doesn't feel particularly necessary. Let's see if she knows sort of how she got in here and how she can get out. Yes?
Okay.
She said she got put in here by her brother.
Yes, which is what we suspected.
And her brother's dark. Her brother's magic is dark magic, so
Yes.
there's a reason that dark magic can get her out.
But here's the thing. When last we talked to her, she didn't know these things. We didn't know these things, and when we were talking to her, we only found out after her. I think you and Nira had talked to Tomberry.
Yes, close. Yes, we did. So we have pieced some things together. The impression that I got from this is the first I have met her, but the impression that I got from your meetings was that she was she had been in a slumber. She had been sort of quiet for so long, and that our connection to her was slowly waking her up. It would stand to reason that as we practice our magic more, you just danced with a glowing fish with a magic sword. I think that she is clearly more awake than she was when we first encountered her.
Wait, how did my sword get magical? And Billy pulls out the keyblade
Okay,
and
all right.
and realizes it's changed.
Did you not notice? It's fairly sort of staggeringly different.
I okay. You make a good point, and this
always
is
do.
very good evidence. I concede.
Okay. All right. Let's continue. Thank you for your patience. God.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kara's just been sort of standing in her glass coffin imprisonment with sort of a bewildered expression on her face as these children have, hold on a second, and had a huddle over in the corner.
Excellent.
Now,
Yes, Conrad, wasn't it?
Yes. It's ever so good to meet you, Kara.
It is good to see you, yes.
Good. Very good.
I'm uncertain how long you all will be safe here, seeing as I was imprisoned here with the purpose of keeping me away from everyone.
Oh.
I don't know if any of my brother's agents spied you coming in here.
Is the I'm so sorry.
Our time may be brief.
Very well. I take it then that the sort of circular ward that's placed on this this chapel slows or sort of mitigates dark magic, but doesn't repel it entirely.
The ward. Oh, you mean the markings outside? That was placed there by numerous sentinels centuries ago. They performed a protection bubble, much like you all did at the library.
Right.
The mark itself has no power. It is just left over from the magic that they did before.
Okay. So when my compatriot performed some feats of, shall we say, less than luminous magic. You know, if there's a lot of different types of magic, and they did one that was different to light, not light. You know, some not light magic.
When Xavier tried to manipulate the lock with darkness,
also
it repelled him. Yes.
Yes, when they put sunglasses on.
we don't mention the sunglasses.
It's hard not to. Have you looked at yourself? I bring a mirror out. Really, Xavier, it's quite difficult.
Oh my. Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
It's fine. This force that repels that dark magic, it won't be strong enough to stop those agents from coming here when the sun sets. Is that what you're saying?
No. Correct. My brother used magic that was already imbued into the structure
I see.
to keep everyone out. Agents of Darkness were not allowed in here, and Agents of Light have not been able to break this coffin.
Agents of Darkness were not allowed in here, as in they couldn't enter.
Correct.
Sort of looks around and looks at himself.
But,
Good to know.
but isn't there shadow wherever there's light?
Not always.
I mean, look at the city around us, Billy. There's plenty shadow. It would make sense that a light here, dim as it is, would, you know, cast it outwards. We've seen no shortage of it.
Correct. I would still urge we keep this conversation brief, however, as since
Yes.
you've opened the door,
Well,
Darkness
Close it
can come in.
behind, I believe. Didn't we, Xavier?
it locks, so we probably don't want to trap ourselves in here.
Yeah, we don't want to. We really
I
don't.
would
But
not
we did
recommend
close
it.
the door, right?
No.
The great big heavy
Okay.
door would lock when we close it, so we shouldn't close it.
Okay, then we need to get Kara out of here so we can get out of here then.
I don't know that we can carry this glass. It's vertical, right? You're saying she's
Can
standing.
I?
No. Xavier, finish the thought. We made it 20 minutes through the episode. I'm ready for you to try and levitate something.
You can see Kara.
exactly.
You can see Kara at this point, looking at you all as like an adult who's trying to be very patient with a child,
Yes.
but is rapidly running out of patience.
Sorry,
That's sort of the expression that she
Yeah.
has on her face right now.
I'm terribly bad at keeping things brief. I'm so sorry.
I absolutely want to levitate the thing.
Kira, can we try to just?
It's Kara, Billy.
Okay, I'm gonna try my best, but I'm sorry if I screw it up. Kara, right?
Kara.
Kara.
There we go.
Yes, Billy.
Okay, you have light magic and are bound by a chains of light, right?
I'm uncertain what this coffin is made of. It doesn't seem to respond to my light magic, however.
So, and I'm guessing because Xavier got exploded with dark magic, so we can't be using light or dark magic. So, what if we use electricity, like use electro magic?
I still think dark magic would get rid of the.
No, we've tested
Crystal?
this out. You went backwards.
That was the door, not the crystal.
Yes, but the crystal is part of the same room the door was attached to.
Yeah, the crystal's in the room, not part of the room.
It's attached. Those chain thingies. Like they're attached to the crystal, I think.
As you're discussing this, you hear the faint sound of a woman giggling coming from an unknown source.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, we need to work fast.
Looking for
Okay,
tips.
so I think kind of like you guys could probably do the brain part of finding what electricity in here we can use, and I'll use the muscle to try to break.
I like to think really quick, just because I sort of saw it in a flash in my mind when Billy is saying, so we can't use light magic, we can't use dark magic. That means that Nira, just sort of next to Conrad, sort of like pulled out one of the little like detonators out of like a pocket and put it in her face.
Yes.
And
I mean, that would work, actually.
I know how to do it.
So hang on, we might be getting ahead of ourselves. Kara, thank you again for your patience. Do you have any understanding of how we would be able to break this bond placed upon you? Clearly you can't do it from the inside.
If I knew how to break it, I would most certainly tell you.
Okay.
Well then, there's no harm in trying dark magic.
Yes, there is. Don't. And Billy just ran
I
on
want
top
to-
of Xavier.
I want to use dark magic.
Billy is tackling you, trying to stop you from using dark magic.
Oh goodness. Okay. We're gonna do an opposed check here. Xavier, roll nimbleness. Billy, roll might.
We know who's going to win that fight.
Let's see, can you beat a 26?
Probably
A
not.
19.
Certainly not.
19.
wait.
Okay.
Oh wait, there it is. Okay, now I'm looking for my nimbleness. Oh, what's my nimbleness? No, I can't beat a 26. No point in rolling.
Okay. All right. So, yes, Billy, you are able to tackle Xavier before they can get a spell off.
Well, this is going well. As these two are sort of wrestling, I turn back to the god, kind of like. So, do you think that the other sort of point of interest we'd had in this city was the headquarters of the Sentinels? Do you think that reactivating whatever is there would aid us in restoring you, in breaking you out, or learning how?
I am sure that if there is anything in this city which might help you, it would be found either here or in the headquarters of my sentinels.
Certainly. Sorry, Billy.
So you're suggesting that we just lock this place up and go to the headquarters and try to get the things we need there and then come back? Or should we try just trying to muscle our way through here?
Akara kind of speaks, assuming Billy was speaking to her, and says, I'm not sure what to suggest at the moment. I have no idea what will work on this coffin or what will not. I only know dark magic will not do much with most things that were built in this temple. However, in my limited view of the planet from being trapped in here, I know there is a resistance in New Berlin. There are some people still there. They might be able to help you.
Right. Yes, I was fishing around in my pockets and finding that little photo that Nira and I found with the skeleton.
See, but this wasn't created with light magic. This was created with dark magic.
I think this having been here for as long as it has, I have to imagine there is there's more to it than just us doing sort of weaving a spell and breaking it right out.
Yeah, because if it was that easy, one of the Sentinels could have gotten her out.
Right.
No, the Sentinels did not have dark magic.
That is a valid point. I think there's probably something to what you're getting at. Showing that so we found 2 photos so far. We found one that was with the sort of cat Iron Man suit, and we found one just in the other room, which showed a little tunnel under like an overpass or something, and it seemed to suggest that was the location of a secret base. Do I have that right?
Yes, you
Yes.
do.
Excellent.
It was this one.
That's the one. If I show both of those to Kara, and sort of like give the lowdown on what we know about that, he says, so that's what we found so far. Is I don't know how far you can see or reach out from here. I know that the whatever that strange orb was in the chapel allowed you to commune with us. Do you have something similar that allows you to speak to your existing followers?
I do not have something similar. I just am able to see through their eyes on occasion. Sometimes I can reach out past this place with my mind and see things, but it's sporadic and limited.
I see.
Well, what if kind of like you maybe if you can't physically leave there, since you can leave mentally, what if like you put a piece of yourself in us?
I wish I could, but I'm ultimately trapped in this case.
Physically, but not mentally, because you could reach out with your mind.
It is a good thought, Billy. However, my ability to do so is limited. Even if I were to focus just on one of you, as you would put it, reception would be spotty at best.
That is how we'd put it.
What if we try with some blood? Would that help?
Well, Billy, again with the blood magic. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Wait, again with the blood magic? This is the first time hearing about that.
No, this is a storied history.
As you say blood, her face just looks like, oh God, why would you say something like that? She doesn't say that, but that's what's on her face.
Yeah.
And
See, this is why we ask.
no, blood is not necessary.
Of course. I think the blood magic might be more sort of, the other one.
Well, see, this is why we know. Now we know not to. This is why we ask.
Excellent.
I-
Great work.
Do you believe there were some of your ancestors that wrote stories which had such fantastical ideas in them, but that is fantasy?
I see, as opposed to the very real reality of us talking to a god.
Correct.
Excellent.
Well,
Excellent.
well,
If we're not going to accomplish anything here, let's go research.
Delightful. Okay, so the items on the docket. How far away is New Berlin? This is the first city we've ever been in, Kara. So we maybe I know how tourists can be.
I understand. New Berlin is, I would think it's hard to tell with physical mortal beings. I haven't communicated with many in a long time. If I can remember right, it should take maybe a couple of days to get there on foot.
Okay, that's not an. Do you know if those shadow creatures they are more sort of centered in the these like city centers, these high populous areas? Would they be less frequent on the road?
They seem to be drawn to places where there was once a large number of people.
Okay.
so
So-
where the light was the brightest, the shadows congregate.
I hate to think what this place might look like at nighttime. Yes.
Yes. You could try going directly there as a group, or you could send a messenger there to try and talk to the resistance and bring them here.
I hate to break it to you, but there's probably no resistance.
There
No.
might be.
I mean,
Kira
There are
says
s-
so.
There are still some there.
A light that you can still sense.
A map made of fish leather falls out of the rafters and bounces off of Conrad's head. It shows the way to New Berlin as well as the outlying cities.
Ow! What? Oh, goodness. Oh.
Thank you, fish god.
Nero, this one's for you. Goodness.
Kara even giggles a little bit at that and looks around and goes, "Yes, thank you again."
Thank you.
So you now have a map of Echo City, New Berlin, and Kara City, and how to get there.
Goodness.
Um,
I suppose that would make the trip easier. So, do we think sort of putting it to the group, which I suppose includes you now, Kara, welcome. Do we think that we are on a particular time crunch? Is such that it would be necessary for us to split up? Or
If you've been spotted coming here, Tenebrae most certainly knows what you're trying to do. It's only a matter of time before he knows you've spoken directly with me.
I see.
so it would be good to just get this done now.
When you say if you've been spotted,
I think that's a guaranteed we've been spotted.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any shadow creatures, if you will,
Yes.
near here today?
they've
It's
not
kind of-
seen us, with one exception.
We spoke directly to
What-
one.
What was the exception?
Thomas. They were a
Thomas.
librarian in a basement.
But it was not here
Not in the
at
church.
the temp.
We haven't.
Then there's a chance you've not been noticed yet.
Goodness me. I have to admit if it is necessary, I will entertain the notion, but I am loath to accept that we should split up unless it is deemed absolutely necessary.
Kira, I don't know, but my blade has seemed to change and Do you know anything about that?
It's not my doing, but that does look like my friend's doing. The one who's been giving you all of the fish-related items.
Oh, well, it looks like your symbol's in here, so I thought maybe.
I mean, there is
So-
some connection, right? We've ascertained that much.
She is a follower of mine.
That gives me an idea. If they are a follower, and they've been slowly helping us out, maybe we can actually use them together to kind of like find a way to. Yeah. Let's put it out here. And Billy puts the keyblade on the ground next to the crystal. Okay, what else did we have? We have a crystal, keyblade.
Uh-huh. These are
What else?
our
What
boons
else?
from the fish god?
Yeah, let's put them down here. Maybe Kira can find the connection that we couldn't.
I
and-
believe Nira had a folding knife.
I think the Conrad.
Or was that Conrad?
Yeah, Conrad got a little like butterfly
Um,
knife.
Oh, Nira has the star chart.
Nira
so
has
Nira will
the star
put that out
chart and a
there.
couple of maps. And I think all the other boons were fish, like food.
Yeah.
I think these are the only tangible bits. But if this is
the
pendant.
pendant and the map. That's right.
Yeah. If you think that sort of this would help.
Xavier got the star chart. That's right.
Just be careful.
Kira, since you know them, can you see connection here? Maybe like all this is clues to help unlock the crystal and free you.
I am uncertain what can be done to open this. I've tried many things on my own using my own power, and it doesn't seem to be enough to open whatever this puzzle is. My
It was definitely created with dark
acolyte,
magic,
if you will,
though.
my friend, the one who's been helping you, their magic comes from me in a large part, so I don't know that theirs would work differently on this.
Yeah. If Kara couldn't do it, then one of Kara's disciples couldn't either. Which
Can GM, may I make a magic engineering roll to try to maybe figure out a clue here? Because I feel like we
Sure.
might have all the pieces to.
I would like to as well.
Yeah, you may both do so. So 24.
I got
What does Xavier get?
25.
25. So 24 and a 25.
classic save, yeah.
So with those rolls, you don't obviously don't get the solution, but you do get the sense that there's probably more than one component to opening this puzzle lock, if you will. It's going to take more than just one piece of the solution
Yeah.
to get it open. You feel like you have at least one of those pieces here, but you know that you're going to need to try combining things. One or two or more things you'll need to combine, and that might give you the solution.
Okay, out of character, do we have to Monkey Island this with our stuff to find the combination?
It's not right. Not right now, though.
See, that's why
I
I'm
love that
asking.
reference.
That's why I'm asking right now. Do we have to do that now? Or is
I love-
Raven
No, later.
indicating that we need to find the next piece and
Try
then...
Keyblade on coffin.
Yeah, it's not it's not a Monkey Island solution like that.
Go north.
Necessarily. It's not combining two physical items that you have right in front of you necessarily in that particular way. I love that reference though. It's one of my all-time favorite games, and I know exactly what you're talking about. So yeah, you get the sense that it's not necessarily a physical item that you have in front of you that you need to like form together into this new contraption for it to work. It's more of in a abstract sense. There's more than one component that goes into the solution.
I think in part it will be our magic that helps open this, but I think we need more than just us.
Okay.
That's my impression thus far.
So here's our options. We
Okay.
either try to kaboom, or we go to the headquarters to see if like M5 can help.
I do not think I do not think that the sort of component we already have on our persons is the dynamite we collected. I'll put that out there. I cannot say with 100%.
I'm 100% certain that we need more information. So
I will say this as the GM. As the game master, you certainly can experiment with things here and try different solutions. I mean, unless you stick dynamite on it and stand right next to it, it's probably not going to harm you, at least not in any significant kind of way. However, each tried solution is going to take time, and the more time you spend here, the greater risk of you running into problems.
Yeah, that's why Billy's just asking, are we going to try to explode or go to a new location?
Let's think of it this way.
I just didn't want to dissuade you from trying
Of
things.
course. I don't know that sort of real life, which we are living in, sort of always works this way. But were this a story, I would imagine that it would be a fairly sort of anticlimactic conclusion where we could just walk into the church and sort of lay some explosives and bust Kara out immediately. I imagine that this is going to take a little more doing than that.
But if we did that route, that would be an awesome like mid-action, like right before the finale. So you have to find out what happens on the next page. Because, oh my God, I just cannot believe that happened. What's going to happen next?
Right, that would change the status quo. Let's put it to a vote, I guess. I sort of want democracy to lead to dynamite.
I think we need to research.
I think we need to know more, Billy, before we can bust out the god.
Okay, Kira, we're going to go to the headquarters and see if that helps.
Well, I had some thoughts about that.
Well, let's go and walk that way so that we're not going to bust out Kara if we just stand around
lock the
talking.
door. We do have
to lock the door. I think when we leave here, we'll be leaving for a while. So let's make sure that we don't have any more questions to ask. My concern is, and I don't know if I am reading too much into this, but I am quite worried that this headquarters will be sort of hazardous for us. It is the sort of like militant base of the people that used to guard this world, these arbiters of light. I have to imagine.
And they are apparently still there.
No,
Hey,
sorry.
Think about it. We get ourselves more supplies. We probably find a new key.
Of course, we're trying to scavenge.
Yes, I know. Think about the
And people, apparently, because Kara said there are people there.
Sorry, to be clear, there are two locations that we are referring to. One is the headquarters of the Sentinels, which is in this city. It is a place where we can reactivate these sort of networks here. Some great sort of mechanical, technological array that can connect everything. That's one part. The other part is the this resistance base that is a few days away in New Berlin. So as best I can reckon, those are our two next points to try and explore. My only concern is, we could split up and try and do them both at the same time. That seems rather perilous.
Well,
And
if you want to
there's-
go that way, I call dibs on the headquarters because M5 wants to go there.
let's be more.
Promise
Yeah.
M5.
So
Yeah,
you
we-
mean the
we need to
sentinel?
go
To
there
clarify,
The sentinel base.
Yeah,
need to
I
go
promise
first.
to clarify something
M5.
for you all as well. Every major city has a sentinel headquarters, essentially for that city's own sort of force, if you will.
Right.
Think of it like a police station. So like you've got the NYPD headquarters in New York City somewhere, but you've also got like you know, a San Francisco police department, you know, that sort of thing. They're all on the same side, but they have their own individual jurisdictions, if you will, as well. So it's a bit like that, combined with like the Jedi, if you will, in terms of how the organization is structured. And you did find all of that through your research.
Right.
So New Berlin will probably have a Sentinel headquarters as well, and Kara will chime in when you're talking about going to the Echo City one. Again, this is not to dissuade you from going there,
Of course.
but she does chime in and say, you know, if Tenebrae knows what you're up to, then those locations are, you know, where the headquarters are is probably an area that he's going to be watching to prevent you from getting potential tools.
I'm okay with that. I'm ready to die for you, Kira.
Okay, Billy, I'm not.
I'm with
I
Conrad
would
on
very
this.
much. I would very much rather you all not die.
On that
Xavier,
we
your
agree.
bag is a bit heavy now. And when you reach in, you find 4 long-distance walkie-talkies with full charges, and they are shaped like very pretty fish.
Oh, of course they are.
Nice.
Goodness.
I love them. I want the pink one. Oh, that was Glenn.
Quite
Okay,
common.
you can get the pink one, but I'll get the salmon one.
Nice.
Uh,
The salmon one, coincidentally, is green. Okay, so my concern is if we go to the headquarters, the Sentinel base here, get it working, and then we have to go to New Berlin, who's to say that Tenebrae won't just shut it down as soon as we leave, once we're gone, to not be able to guard it anymore, do anything with it? And who's to say we'll be powerful enough to even approach this place in the first place? I feel like if we have these 2 goals set up, and there is an order we should do them in, if going to New Berlin gets us help and allies, or even, you know, context, some more supplies, some weapons, because I don't know if we're going to be getting into a tussle, but there's only so much magic that I can sort of procure in a day, and once I'm tapped out, I'm left with a climbing axe, and I should. I don't know that I would be able to do very much with something better, but I would hate to.
You still got the electric gamey thingy. Because the Shocky mod.
I do still have the Nintendo Power Glove, yes. I don't believe that it has many combat properties, though.
Are you sure? Like, it should have the Shockity.
I'm not sure if it has the Shockity.
Oh, usually, like, you start, select, up, down, left, right, A, B.
Right. I mean, that's gibberish, but I could tinker with it and see if I could expose some wires. My point is, I
promised M5, so I'm going there. So,
really?
if you guys want to split up, okay.
we should definitely go there. I don't think we should split up. I think we should definitely go there.
Okay.
Okay, so if we're not splitting up, we'll go to the headquarters, then we'll pop back here, and then we'll go to New Berlin.
All right. If that's what you all want, I wouldn't leave you for the world.
I'm okay if you need to leave me alone. Like, I promised M5. M5's been very nice, also a bit sassy and mean, but they're getting better at it, and I promised them. If they were good, and they've been good, I get to the headquarters.
We can't split up, right? Can we really?
Hey, I believe in you, Conrad. You can do anything. Like, if you think you can go to New Berlin, I believe in you. You can do it. Same with you, Xavier. You both are so smart. You can do anything. Like, if you guys want to go to New Berlin, I believe in you. You can get there and find these new ally.
Yeah, we feel at such an impasse. My fear is that we might not be powerful enough to assault this Sentinel base. So how can I, in my right mind, say that the two of you should go instead of the four of us? If that is my worry, if you are going there and nothing will talk you out of it, I have to go with you. Anything else is out of the question.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nira probably at this point, given her background, might point out the fact that sometimes one or two people can, sneak into a place or scout a place out easier than a whole group can. Though I won't say whether Nira is recommending that or not. Just an observation.
I mean, yes. When it comes to this place, I don't necessarily mean that we should be going in sort of guns blazing, as it were. Being sort of quiet would behoove us, certainly.
Yeah, but here's the positive. If we do split up, Tom Bray knows that we're going towards one location with someone that's being very loud and focused on, while you're going another direction, getting resources that we can outsmart this Tom Bray with. And that way we can, while I'm doing the distracting, you're getting the allies, the forces and everything. You come back, break Kira out, while Tom Berry thinks, oh, I'm so big, I'm so powerful, this little kid. Oh, I shall toy with him.
I know you didn't speak to him. That's not quite what he sounds like. It's close though. Goodness. So I guess like the like stepping back out of character for just a moment. I'm happy to, like, if none of these questions can really be answered, but the
Sure.
like me, Callan, I'm sort of I know that like in role-playing games you can do whatever you want, but there are sort of like, some things that you should always be striving for, like making sure that it always stays fun, making sure that everyone can always like do things and play, and like particularly obviously this also being a show, making sure that it's like still enjoyable to watch.
Sure.
My fear is that like I don't know how long or how climactic either of these endeavors are, and like, did you just roll a 1d100 without commenting on it?
Yes, I did.
So my fear is, one of my many fears is that I don't know how sort of like lengthy or climactic either of these endeavors will be, and
Okay.
like if that Sentinel base is supposed to be like the big finish and we just send like two people there, I'm not even sure how that would like play out or how we would make that engaging.
Let me put it this way.
I'm shaking a magic 8-ball, basically.
Don't worry about all that stuff. I have a number of potential outcomes that could be the big finale or the big cool thing that happens. I have contingencies upon contingencies, so whatever you do will be fine.
Okay. So just super open.
She's had how
absolutely.
long to create this world now? You started
November?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so are you guys gonna help me lock the door here? Because I imagine we just walked to the door and we were talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we
well,
shut the door and we lock it.
I guess
Kara does urge you all to close the door and lock it and try to make it look as if you were never here.
Of course. We'll be back, Kara. We will.
Should we pile some of those broken pews on it?
I think
Can I
it's
use
fine.
light magic to run faster? By the way, it's a random question.
Thank see.
How
Billy runs in.
would you use light
Oh.
magic to run faster?
Ah.
Because it makes things lighter.
No, it does not change your physical mass.
We say goodbye to the god as sort of her two followers run away, and I'm sort of left at the door like, well. Oh, actually, am I the last one to close the door?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I have a thing that I would like to do before
No.
you all leave as
Of
well.
course.
I think Kara would have some parting words for each of you.
That seems more prudent than these two just running away. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't think like a kid would think to stop. Just like think, oh, we need to go and do the thing for the god.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kara probably like calls out to you all, like, just a moment before you run off.
Then Billy just runs back. Yes.
And Xavier's right behind Billy.
So Kara looks at Billy and says, Billy,
Yeah.
you have a good heart and a lot of strength, and that goes beyond the physical. But don't try to put everything on your shoulders. When things go wrong, it's not your fault.
You've been talking
Let
to
the
my
others
dad,
support you.
haven't you?
I think I have very rarely. I still have a connection to those who still respect the old ways, but this has been from watching you as much as I could through your journey here. Let the others support you. Don't put everything on your own shoulders. And she looks to Xavier. Says, Xavier, magic is very useful. It's not the answer to all your problems, though.
No, I
Try to use some restraint. And use the knowledge and education and intelligence that you have naturally to solve your problems. Don't lessen your natural talents by trying to live up to something else. And then she looks at Conrad, and she looks a little sad. And she pauses for a moment.
What?
Says, Conrad.
Okay, I do get a pep talk.
Yes, you do. Said, Conrad,
Yes.
you have more worth than you think you do. Don't be so quick to sacrifice yourself for your friends. Much like I told Billy, let the others support you as well. And even if it seems everything is dark, there's still some light in you. Hold on to that.
Sure. Sure. Thank you.
And please be careful out there, all of you.
A nod. Does Nira get any parting words?
Nira does. I was thinking I might do that later, like specifically with Nira next week.
Yeah, of course.
Kind of a flashback to it. But since you're all able to overhear, it would be something along the lines of, don't worry so much about what's legal and not legal. Basically saying that she can personally assure Nira that whatever resources she comes across, those who originally possessed them would very much want her to take them and use them.
That's so good.
And
You meet a god and she just goes, "Hey, listen, I'm not a cop. Like, it's fine. You gotta do what you gotta do."
And she would probably also say something along the lines of, even when you feel like you're small, that doesn't mean you can't make a big difference.
Delightful.
Yeah. So, and with that, she says, please, all of you be careful and, take your time. I've been here trapped like this hundreds of years, and I will still be alive hundreds of years in the future. Don't rush it.
Okay.
Yeah, but how cool would it be if we were the ones that release you?
That would be wonderful. But I don't want you to be too hasty and get yourselves hurt in the process. I'm patient.
You might be muted.
If you need to take time to do something right. Me?
No, sorry, Michael.
Yeah, Michael, you are muted if you are trying to stay stuff on microphone.
There we go.
I'm the one that gets hurt. I'm the one that'll make sure they're fine. That's my job. I get hurt.
Billy,
Hopefully not.
you also
Billy.
be careful.
That's my job.
Support each other. Take time to do things correctly and safely. And I will still be here when you're done, however long it takes.
What if it's...
Don't let Tenebrae know that you are in here.
But what if
Right.
the correct way is not always the safe way?
That's fine. Just be as safe as you can.
I don't know that anything we're going to do will be safe.
Unfortunately, what I'm asking of you is not safe. But try to do it as safely as you can.
And Billy grabs all of them like in a big hug. That's okay. They got me.
Yes, they do, Billy.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go. I have one more thing I wanted to do, but I'll have to do it outside of that circle. Kara, it was
Yes, Conrad.
strange to meet you. Finally. We will meet again.
Remember what I said. And yes, we will meet again.
I'll try. Oh, how stately, Billy. Yeah, is a bow appropriate? Or
She just kind of giggles a little bit, which again seems strange given her sort of somber demeanor the whole time. But for the briefest moment, there's a giggle and you can see some joy in her face, and she says, "You're fine to leave however you would like."
sort of salute?
This is...
Finger guns.
Not-
You're a finger guns person.
Yes, that's...
That gets another giggle out of her, and she just says, "There's nothing left to stand on for ceremony. Just... I'm happy to talk with you all."
All right. Well,
Xavier leaves, and as he leaves...
Well,
Heart.
you can always call.
Nice.
I'll see you later. Bye. I love you. Goodbye.
see you later, God.
Because we're doing ridiculous things right now, so as Xavier leaves, our ends.
She just sort of nods and smiles and says, "I love you all as well."
I love you. Bye-bye.
Close the door.
Oh, okay. You managed to lock the door. Who is holding on to the key?
That'd be Billy.
There's only
Okay.
there's the one key, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
The key that
Billy,
would probably shock me or Conrad.
Perhaps.
Any of you can hold it. It won't shock you if you hold it. If you
Yeah, Xavier doesn't
use dark
know
magic
that.
on it, it will.
I could make the case, Billy, for me to hold it, if only for the fact that I seem to have some more resilience to some of these shadow creatures. But you were also the strongest and the most sort of sturdy, so I do not mind either way.
Ooh. But here's a third option.
Okay.
No one would think of for Xavier. So Xavier should have the key. See? You didn't even expect it.
Yes, I can see that.
It's certainly unexpected.
I
Xavier,
will put it in my book.
excellent. You've got a
In the
hollowed out
back.
book.
I've got 2.
The little ones where you open it up and there's a little
Yeah.
square cut into it.
Exactly.
That's what is in there. Did you bring like narcotics, Xavier?
Don't question Xavier. Like,
No, I'm not. Listen, I've met Kyle. I'm not a cop either. It seems you
No.
brought so many books. I'm just started to question what's in them now.
hey, knowledge comes in many forms.
Right. I mean,
And Xavier is an expert on knowledge, so
Party
it's
on,
best
Xavier.
not to judge.
listen. I'm cool. I party. I get it.
No. I keep them so I can store things that I don't want to be found in them.
I see. Well, I have never seen
In
someone
case I
seriously-
ever come across something I don't want to be found.
Right. Exactly.
For example, this key, and puts it in the book and then locks the book.
Okay, and don't tell us which book. So that way, if we get tortured, we can't say it.
And puts the book with the other books in his back.
Exactly. Now, no one knows which book but you.
I
Now we
probably
book
don't
Tom.
even. I probably don't even know which book. I know which key.
Okay.
Behind the key.
All right.
The as we leave the chapel, Conrad was just going to look for a sort of quiet, secluded place for him to attempt to do some magic. That's his endeavor.
Okay. Are you doing this magic inside the cathedral or outside?
Quite specifically outside.
Outside. Okay. Yeah, you can find a quiet spot, sort of tucked out of the way. I'm assuming you look around for shadow creatures and that sort of
Yes,
thing.
it's still day.
It is still day. Yeah. It's probably about
12?
yeah, I was gonna say a little after noonish, so maybe like 1 p.m. roughly.
Yes, yeah. I sort of turn to my compatriots and I say, Xavier, some of your ideas in there sort of sparked some of my own. I feel like there may be something to this notion that dark magic will aid us, or at the very least in understanding how it was used. I want to see if I can reach out with this connection, try and find the traces of what was here, maybe try and get a better understanding of how this sealing works and how we might start to try and unseal it.
I think that is a wonderful idea. However, I don't think it's going to be entirely necessary once we get to the source of all this knowledge.
I think that there are not many books that Tenebrae and his associates have put to pen. So I think if there is knowledge that only they hold, this might be one of the only ways to get it.
And like I said, that's a wonderful idea. If necessary. If we need
No,
to take that step.
I would rather do it now to get some bearings before we sort of defer that. I wouldn't do it without your blessing, but
I mean, if you want to, you can do it. I'm not standing in your way. Unless you need me to do it, in which case, no.
No. I believe I can do it myself, but I would need the three of you to maybe keep watch, and just sort of make sure we're not perturbed, that it doesn't draw any attention. I don't imagine that it would, but you can never be too careful. I specifically can never be too careful.
Yeah, as long as you're not doing it in Billy's circle. Which Billy's going to do tonight again.
No. I was thinking now somewhere we're not staying, so that if it does draw any sort of unwanted attention, we can quickly move on.
That sounds perfect.
Billy? Billy?
Yeah?
Is that all right with you?
Yeah, you do your thing.
Okay. Alright, I'll find somewhere and sort of kind of look around a little self-consciously. Don't really know how evil people meditate. I sort of sit down cross-legged.
I don't think
Look around. No, but I'm trying to sort of do it. I don't know.
Oh, hold on. And Billy pulls out a little bit of lavender and goes like, "Here, this is a little bit helpful."
Thank you. Do I eat it?
No, you smell it.
Oh,
You
of course.
can, but you shouldn't eat it.
Okay.
It's relaxing.
Yeah,
It's quite nice. I'm not sure how evil this is. I'm not sure if this is good. Let me.
you want it evil? Okay.
No,
give me a
listen,
second.
it's fine. I don't. No, I don't want to know what concoction you. Oh, goodness no, Billy, just stand outside and keep watch, please. Please. I'm okay. I don't need any tinctures.
Okay, how about a finger? Is that bad enough?
What? Or like a skeleton one, like a bone.
I see you're prepared, Billy.
That's gross. Please leave.
Okay, Billy tosses it and then leaves.
Oh, God. Way to set the mood. I close my eyes and reach out.
Okay, what exactly are you trying to reach out to? What's your thought process as you're doing that?
Yeah, Conrad is trying to, in his mind, the world before, there were all these networks and there were all these connections, and this idea of, like, you know, the Jedi analogy, that there is a kind of permeating force that this light sort of encompassed the world with. If this is Tenebre's new sort of world order, it stands to reason then that there is now a similar connection, but one made of dark. If not sort of a technological marvel, then a more sort of mystical, magical one. Basically, Conrad is trying to reach out into that, being near the chapel, trying to get an idea of, like, you know, sort of, he's trying to find the, examining the crime scene, in so much as the sort of magical leavings of this binding that put Kara here.
Okay.
Not
so
expecting
you're kind of trying to do like a almost like trying to do a magical forensics.
Yeah, like a sort of like detect magic, or sort of like reading the history of the magic that happened in this place, specifically the darkness, using his
Okay, sure. Yeah, go ahead and roll magic engineering.
Okay. Do we have any juice that I can put on this? I'm not sure how important this
yeah,
is.
there's 46 available. You also have 2 switches.
Okay. We're gonna give it a try.
24.
Are y'all cool if I put a D6 on that? Yeah?
Yep, looks good.
Oh,
Nice. Bumps you up to a 30.
huge.
So yeah, with a 30, you're able to sort of sense, you almost get like it's not quite like a vision of what happened, but you can kind of sense what happened, and so you sort of have this mental image of of Tenebrae sort of defeating Kara here, and then he and his shadow creatures sort of. Oh, hey, thanks, Michael, for that $5 tip. Advantage to the cast. Fantastic. Thank you very much. You see him sort of carrying an unconscious Kara into that room that you were just in by using some sort of dark magic on a sentinel, which seems to take over their mind. It's basically forcing this the sentinel to open the door that otherwise Tenebrae would not have been able to do. And then he uses his own magic and seems to pull something from Kara as he does. And as he's doing that, it's forming this coffin or case, if you will, where she's basically left standing upright.
Right.
In this upright coffin of what looks like glass or crystal or something like that. And then once he's done, they all leave and the sentinel locks the door. And basically puts the key in that little closet where you found it on that guy. And then they leave.
Did I get any indication as to how bad things were when that happened? Was this like during the fall or just after? Or is it what started it?
Not really. You're not sure where exactly in the timeline that was,
Sure,
but the brief glimpses that you sort of get of the surrounding area look pretty bad.
Right. Probably not.
So
surprising.
probably during or shortly after the actual fall.
Yeah. Okay. He and that's it. That's
Yeah, that's all you get.
yeah. Just. Whew. Hey, I'm all right in here. Mouth is really dry. We don't have any sort of orange slices or anything. It's got a splitting headache after all of that.
I have maybe some mint julep things. Like,
Some little bits.
yeah, there's these candies that my papa would make. He pulls it out, like it's roughly looks like a peppermint. These mint julep things are very nice.
That would do great. Thank you so much. I learned some interesting things, but I think maybe we should discuss them on the road. Where are we going?
To the headquarters, because that's what M5 wanted. Wasn't that right, M5?
Twain.
Headquarters.
No, Mark.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
What was the last thing that you
Mark
said?
the helmet.
Are you talking to M5
Yeah,
or?
like because since the library's been on full active, because it'll last for a year on the power that we added on, so it doesn't have to work.
Yes, it is. It is in an active mode. I apologize. Was there a question to the helmet?
No,
in there?
it just was confirming. Like, we're going to the headquarters. That's where you wanted to go.
Oh, gotcha. So yeah, your helmet, Billy, speaks and goes, affirmative. That is where the Sentinel network can be reestablished.
Okay.
And he gives you a heads-up display showing you which direction to go.
Okay, and Billy starts marching in that direction.
All right.
Hey, Conrad. As you're walking along, when you go around a corner, you see that there is a. It's small and it looks like it's grown in this spot despite its circumstances. So it's kind of twisted and scraggly, but there is a small orange tree with a couple of oranges on it.
I sort of lean really close. Does it smell like fish?
Yes.
It smells like orange.
It smells like oranges?
I was gonna say it smells like oranges. This is from Gwen though, so I guess Gwen, if you want it to smell like fish, it can.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a little?
Okay, so
Okay.
like slight, like salty oranges,
I take one.
whatever that would smell like.
Take out my little butterfly knife as we start to walk. I just say to myself, if I cut you open and you're full of fish guts, this is gonna be the worst. But I start doing up some little orange slices and hand them out to everybody as we walk.
Yeah, they're regular oranges.
Oh, thank God.
And Billy is kind of like just sucking on like,
No, you one or the other, Billy.
What? Wait, you
Nope.
think I can have what, more oranges?
You can have more bits, but you can't talk while you're doing it. If the magic word is please, then we're gonna remember our manners everywhere.
Oh, I didn't know that was a matter.
It is. Yes, it's one of the
Don't
manners.
talk with your mouth full, please.
Just don't talk with your mouth full, specifically not full of oranges.
Okay, since you said please.
Thank you. Please. And we venture onwards.
With that, we're gonna take a break. So we'll take a 5-10 minute break, give everybody a chance to hydrate, stretch your legs, that sort of thing. And when we come back, we'll find out what happens on the way to the Sentinel headquarters.
Excellent.
And maybe we'll find out why I've been rolling all these 1d100s.
Yeah, hope not.
Yeah, we might
That's a
find
mystery I
out.
don't need an answer to.
We'll be right back.
just given the history of D100 rolls.
And we're back. And with coffee, which is fantastic. So, oh dear. I just noticed in chat. What about gin? Oh, the mint julep thing. Okay. So everybody is headed to the Sentinel headquarters, which is on the opposite side of the city from where they entered. Now, you've been walking through the city for a while, so you're not going to have to cross the entire city to get to where you're going, but it's going to be a bit of a walk. According to M5, your helmet, Billy, you know that you're probably not going to make it to your location before it gets dark. What preparations do you all make, if any, for that inevitability?
Billy is, for the most part, like, not thinking. They're just focused on going to make M5 happy, so someone else would have to voice.
What are we making preparations for?
No, the sun's gonna set before we reach the Sentinel headquarters. I would say Conrad, being the sort of, worrywart that he is, would be keeping an eye on the sun as it is setting. This maddening phenomena that they're now becoming accustomed to. And
Yes.
As it gets down to like, an hour or two before it sets, trying to start sort of keeping an eye out for like promising places where we could sort of bed down for the night.
And Xavier would also be around that time looking for places where we can make food as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Conrad, you're looking for a reliable shelter for the evening.
Yeah, towards the end of the day's travel.
Okay. And Xavier, you're specifically looking for, are you looking for places that have food, or places where you would be able to more easily prepare food?
Basically what Conrad is looking for.
Okay. What do I want you to roll for this?
Something we're good at, Raven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like give Billy a nature roll.
Mechanic engineering?
Where's the fun in that? I don't think mechanical engineering will help you here.
Well, because like they're looking at the mechanical engineering of buildings to find the best place for support and safety.
Very close.
Okay, to start with, though, let me have everyone roll sight. We'll do this as a couple of different rolls.
Can Billy do naturalist instead?
Econorlax.
Only sight for this first part.
Econorlax is here in spirit, folks. Let's go. 4 and a 6 on sight.
I got
that. Raven.
I got a 13 plus 4 is 17.
Excellent. Is that your sight
17,
bonus?
okay.
Yes.
For Billy? Plus 13 on sight?
That's my naturalistic. This is why I argued for that. My sight is much lower.
Okay, so your sight is much lower then. That's what we're rolling,
my
right?
naturalist
Okay.
is what Billy hunts for shiny things.
So I do need Billy to do a sight roll before the naturalist roll, but the naturalist roll will
Well, hang on to.
have an effect here. Here you go. So good sight roll. A pretty good, a decent naturalist roll there. So 21 and 19. So with that, Billy, because your naturalist kind of plays into salvage as well, it's not just nature, you actually find the remnants of it's the closest approximation would be like a an outdoors store, like a camping and hunting and fishing, like that kind of store.
So it's a Trader Billy's store.
Yeah, something like that. There's we've got one here.
We know
not
where
too
Billy
far
got
away. I'm
his
trying to think of the
name.
name of it. Cabela's. If you're in the U.S., there's a store called Cabela's. It's like this giant outdoorsy store. Something kind of like that.
That would be
So it's
Bunnings in Australia, I think. Like
Okay.
hardware,
I like that.
tools, tents, plants.
I like that name better. Can we agree that it's a Bernie's?
Kinda.
Close. Well, Bernie's is certainly topical.
Well, like, did you say
yeah.
Bernie's or Bernie's? I know
No,
there's some
Bu-
I think it was
Bernie's.
Bunning.
Bunnings.
Bunnings?
Yeah.
Let's go
Bunnings.
with that. Bunnies.
But yeah, well, that or Trader Billy's.
I like Trader Billy's. That's fantastic. We'll go with that. So, Billy, you do find a store that, oddly enough, was named Trader Billy's, and half the store is like the roof is collapsed and it's completely useless. But you do find the half that's not destroyed, and you find that there's actually some like they're MREs from couple centuries ago.
Ooh,
Theoretically, they're still good to eat.
I'm still pocketing it either way.
Yeah, but there's also some camping stuff. So Xavier, because Billy found the store and was able to point it out to you, as you look around inside of it, you find a camp stove and a couple of
nice.
little like camp cookware, like a pot and a utensils, that sort of thing.
Yay!
And then Conrad, you're able to spot another tent. It's even bigger than Billy's tent. It's not as sturdy or as durable, but it looks a little bit more luxurious, if you will.
I see.
Like it's got sort of like a inflatable floor, so you can like a sort of a mini air mattress layer on the bottom of the tent that you can pump up, so it's a little more comfortable to lay on.
Goodness, how ritzy. It's Billy, don't fret. It doesn't have any of the sort of rustic charm nor sort of heroic tales of durability that yours has.
I'm
but
okay
the,
with that. Like, that's a respectable temp there.
Yes, it's fine. It's a solid sort of B plus.
I don't think it's got enough bounce in it yet to be a B, but we can put some air in it and then it'll be a B.
Okay, all right. You're the expert. Actually, we're trying to manage like our sort of loads, right? Like we've already got like a bit of stuff to carry. I think Conrad would likely just make a note of it, but I don't think it's wise for us to take it with us.
Yeah, and unless you were going to swap it out for Billy's tent, which I don't think would happen, it's more of a something that you could set up here, which would make things a little more comfortable for the evening.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Do we get the impression that this place is particularly safe? Are we exposed to the street?
It's a little bit off the street, so it does seem like it's pretty safe. You can tell just by the look of it that it'll probably get pretty dark when it becomes nighttime.
Oh boy, howdy! Just a tiny little roll 20. Just bloop, just bloop. You actually that time, Raven. The thing that's really cool that time is you were halfway through your own sentence.
Billy gets out the spray paint and does the symbol of Kira over right at the area where it starts to collapse. So, and then starts doing that almost like there's almost a little border of little Kira symbols.
Okay. You're able to do that, no problem. And then, Conrad, what I was gonna say is, the area looks like it's going to be very much in the shadows when it gets dark for the evening. So, not that there's a lot of well-lit places in the city to begin with, but this is even amongst that on the darker end. So it's up to you to decide if that's a positive or a negative in terms of keeping you safe. If you're trying to go for stealth, that could be a benefit. But in terms of like protection, like you had at the library, it's definitely not anywhere near as much that protection.
Compatriots, perhaps we should confer before we sort of make any decisions. Last night, and Nira can attest to some of this from the time that she spent up on the roof. We do know that there were more of these shadow creatures out on the street around the library. Billy, you stood a sort of dedicated vigil for the whole evening. Did you notice at any point that those shadow creatures discovered us? Were they ever beating at the edges of your barrier, or did we seem to go completely undetected by them?
Raven, what do I need to roll for this? Because I don't feel like I should BS this. I feel like this.
What's the question?
What were the shadows beating against the shield? Do they just not notice us?
I'm trying to get an idea of like Conrad's thought process right now is that two options are basically be super loud but put the bubble up so nothing can get in, or be really stealthy so that nothing finds us. And he's trying to confirm that by like, well, if we put the bubble up, it was a big, huge glowing beacon. I assume that they knew it was there. So at any point were those shadow creatures on the street, like, you know.
Yeah, and I don't think I should BS. I think this should be a roll.
I mean, like, did you notice? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll give you the information. You don't have to roll, but yeah, there is a specific information for it. So Billy, as you were keeping that bubble in place the whole night, you did notice that there were shadow creatures that noticed it. It definitely was kind of a big target in the middle of the city. But the shadows seem to not try to interact with it. Almost like they were like, I don't really want to touch that.
Well, it was a target, but they know likey.
They were smarter than Xavier.
Yeah.
Yes, which by normal circumstances would be a sort of modern miracle. But when it comes to your interfacing with magic, the bar seems to be set sort of lower for now. Okay, I think we have to accept that anything we do from here on will be sort of perilous. But especially when we don't know what's happening. Xavier, I think you can attest to this. Right now we're in the dark, and that's the most dangerous thing of all, is us not knowing.
Exactly.
So I would suggest that perhaps the barrier, the sword and the fish and everything else and the dance, as beautiful as it was, I do not know that it is something that you could do every night. Billy,
well,
I think.
See, I don't think kind of like we could do it at that level. I think we're gonna have to try to do something more subtle, because this right here and slaps one of the walls don't seem too stable.
Yes, and I think we already know from our dealings with the shadow creatures before that physical barriers won't necessarily pose much of a barrier to them.
Yeah, but here's my idea, and this is why I kept around in a circle doing these Kira symbols. Is, well, last time I did one big symbol. So what if we do lots of little ones? That way, kind of we could trade off instead of just one per person holding it off.
I'm just going to put this out there. I can do this as well.
Yeah, but this way, instead of just me staying up all night, and Xavier can help out.
So my fear is, yes, I do agree that I think we're on the same page that what we did at the library isn't something we can do every night. My concern is those shadow creatures knew we were there. We can hope that they do not know that we made our way to the chapel. I am sure that Tenebrae has his suspicions, but until they are confirmed, he may not take direct action against us. If we leave a chain of these bubbles every night, the shadows know where we are each time, leading towards the headquarters of the Sentinels, they'll know we're coming. So my concern is it may behoove us to go for a more stealthy option while we are trying to go undetected. And I believe that it may not be light magic that aids us in that. It may be the other one.
That's a point, but here's the counterpoint.
Of course.
Kira could see through me whenever I use light magic. So,
To some degree.
Yeah, so couldn't we just say the same about Tombre? That every time like someone's used dark magic, Tombre can see through?
That is not the feeling I have gotten. No, I believe that is the case for these creatures, these sort of thralls of his. I believe once they are sort of succumbed to the dark, he shares a very sort of close connection to them. But right now, myself and Xavier, I believe that our connections are more combative.
I haven't even thought about it.
Are you saying, like, you know more about the shadows because you've had more interactions with them?
I believe so. I'm learning bits and pieces.
Okay. So it's just what Kira said. You saying this now, like, is there something you're not telling me?
Oh, yes, Billy, there is. While you were dancing with the fish, we met the spirit of a librarian in the basement.
Okay. Hopefully you didn't make him cry this time.
Listen. I don't know what it is with me and librarians. I can't be blamed for this.
I don't blame you for it. You can't help it. Like,
Do you think
their fault. They're not prepared for you.
Listen, I talk very quickly and like they say, don't be loud, and then I say okay, and they say that's loud, and I say okay. Do you think that the lifetime ban will still sort of be in place if we come back after saving the world?
No. Trust me.
No.
Besides, I'll sneak you in like I did last time.
I know. Well, it was always either you or Xavier having to get my things for me, and if I send Xavier into a library, I'm not going to see them again for a day.
Yeah, but that's
Maybe
why I can
two.
help you sneak you in.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, okay.
I have magic now. I can sneak you in.
Okay.
well.
All right. Well,
So we
hang
can
on.
all sneak you in. See?
Do you like having magic or not, Xavier? It feels like you're going back and forth, depending on how useful it is to you at any moment.
It really does depend on how useful it is.
Okay, all right.
Me at the
At least
moment.
you're consistent.
Yeah, it's like a knife. And Billy pulls out a knife.
Okay, sorry. My point is, in the basement there was this creature. It didn't seem to be quite as powerful a specter as some of the other ones that we've encountered. But Xavier and Nira can both attest to this. With my magic, I was able to place a sort of a similar kind of shield to you, a ward. But instead, okay, all right, I'm gonna back away while you're.
Oh, sorry.
No, you can do it. It's fine.
I'm putting it away.
I believe that it wasn't so much a barrier that obstructed the creature. I don't know if it would have stopped it had it tried to approach us, but it stopped it from seeing us. I was hiding us from view. I believe I can do the same thing again tonight.
I don't remember that at all.
It did happen.
Well, you probably were sleeping.
No,
It
Dave,
happens.
you saw the book, Xavier. I think you were rather distracted, understandably.
Oh yeah, Xavier is
there's-
distracted by books pretty easily.
It's how it
Yes,
happens.
I was reading. The book.
That's too is very distracting.
Yes, I really think we need to decide by tonight whether or not we're going to be trying to be stealthy or loud, because I do not think that we can conjure a huge dome made of radiant light and still remain sort of unseen. I think if we do the bubble again tonight, they will know where we are and they will know where we're going.
Huh.
Oh, so you actually think we're hiding from them?
I think we should try and hide tonight, and I think that my magic can help us do that.
Conrad, I believe in you. You can do whatever. I'm gonna make us some beans. We got some fire. I got to cook up. Some beans.
Exactly.
Yes.
You want to help me with that?
And
Because
Billy
I'm
pulls
making-
out one of the cans he has in his
I'm making
backpack.
beans and rice and MREs.
Oh, that was easier than I thought. All right. I guess I'll get to work. While the two of you work on dinner. I guess I'll wait until the sun sets before I start my magic.
Okay, do you want your beans cooked or not? Because I got 2 types of beans here.
Cooked, please.
Okay.
I understand you have some predilections about.
No,
raw
no,
food.
I just had 2 options here.
Okay. You had one
Yeah.
option and you were wondering whether or not you should cook it.
No, I had 2 options. Okay?
All right, listen. You still have any potatoes, Billy?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
always have
alright.
a potato.
Of course
And
you
pulls
do.
out a couple of
Cross.
slugs.
I will have. I'd be delighted to have anything you could prepare for me. Thank you, both of you, all of you.
And where the cooking and we got the fire.
Yay!
We got the fire. We got the cooking and the mooking and the looking. Good cooking.
Trying to
And
concentrate on
fire.
a spell.
So for the MREs, you have a few different options. Excuse me, goodness.
Bless you.
That coffee went down the wrong way. And
Yeah.
it's still
Challenging.
not quite right.
Yeah.
There we go. So you have curried chicken and rice as an option. There is sort of a like a tuna salad. It's in like a it's in like a pouch. It's tuna something. The writing on it is kind of rubbed off a little bit. But I think Nira probably claims that
Yeah,
one.
near.
You also find a
fruitcake MRE.
Mango. I want mango.
a mango, huh? Yeah, there's probably a few of them that have like a fruit cake in the whole pack as the like dessert.
No.
Probably a couple of chocolate bars and a couple of chocolate chip cookies and some
No,
of them.
I'm talking about like the larger, like, because you can actually have a lot of protein and a lot, and just encased in one of those, and it lasts for years. Like I've had
Yeah.
that was MRE like fruitcake that was 10 years old, and it was delicious.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
I
find one of
love
those.
God's face when you said that.
Fruitcakes can last a really long time, especially if they are soaked in booze. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. I personally adore fruitcakes as well.
I
so
love fruitcakes. Yes.
I'm usually in the minority on that. So that's good to hear that other people enjoy it.
Fruitcakes are the best.
Not the
Fruitcake is
best,
delicious by
but
me.
they are pretty
Thank you,
good.
Alex.
Like, they are long lasting. They're better than Gnora bars to keep as emergency food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm always going to keep granola bars as well.
At any rate, you find several options. So I'm just curious, Xavier, what particular flavor, if you will, do you go for here?
The chicken and rice one, because I'm making beans and rice and MRE. So, of course.
Okay. You find a chicken and rice one, and it's also in a pouch, sort of a plastic type pouch. And so this thing is a couple 100 years old, right? When you open it up, there's sort of like a vacuum seal sound. Obviously, this is coming from like a golden age of technology, so it's a little more advanced than what we have now.
It's
Nevertheless,
like a bunch of ghosts fly out, a moth. Sound of distant screams.
You got a good one. It's got the
No.
screen still in it.
Yes. Absolutely.
But nevertheless, as you open it up, it smells fine. It smells like chicken and rice. But as you look in, the entire thing is just like this weird puke brown color. Do you still eat it?
Yeah, we're mixing it in. We're mixing it in. We're cooking it. We're mixing it
Okay.
in.
Yeah,
Okay.
like Billy has gotten like the
You're not gonna
grill
see it.
out.
You're gonna taste it.
Yeah, like we have already gotten the flint out. We have a little bit of grass with a little bit of wood and kindling in there. That's right underneath the flame, and roughly kind of like trade out. So like we have like the pot that beans and one where we got the water boiling in it. Because I'm guessing this is one of those places that has its own like water system that's nearby. Like it may have been built with like a fake one, but now it's just because it's always he's recycling the water. It's just like got a little bit of waterfall that's still working.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly. There's not like a freshwater supply, no plumbing or anything like that, but there are some, this being a outdoor store, you are able to find some like rain catchers that have been set up as a display, which oddly enough have now been actually catching rainwater and have clean water in them. So you're able to get water that way.
Okay.
Words, thoughts, lost my train of thought there. Billy, what flavor of MRE did you do? Just the fruitcake?
Yeah, but like didn't eat them, just had pocketed it. Had been using the cans along with the potatoes we had found earlier. So, because like we have
Okay.
two pots, I think one with the rice mixture in it, one with like the beans mixture with a couple of potatoes in there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're both slowly cooking
Okay.
over. They're kindling, probably not too bright a fire, just light enough that it gives a nice simmer. Probably takes about an hour or two to get to the right temperature while Conrad's doing the whatever thing.
Okay, makes sense. Conrad, do you call dibs on any particular MRE, or are you just going to eat whatever is prepared?
I will eat whatever is prepared for me as a sort of humble and gracious guest.
And trust me, they are all puke ground.
Yeah.
They
It's
are.
fine.
I've had a couple before, and yeah, they are all that same disgusting looking color. It doesn't look appetizing, but it actually doesn't taste that bad. So in that case, Billy and Xavier, I will need a naturalist roll from both of you.
Yeah, something I'm good at.
Yes.
My life is in your hands.
See, with a 9 I rolled, I still get a 22.
Powerful.
So
Nice.
I got a 19 total.
Hey,
Raven, please start telling us or stop rolling.
no,
I don't care which.
no.
I don't want to know.
I'm gonna hear
I
that
just
sound in my
wanted to
dream.
stop
It's-
because it's like it keeps distracting me. Like
You
Take
can,
one.
can roll this where we can't see the results.
yes,
All right.
please.
I love it.
But then the audience couldn't see that I've rolled something.
Neither could we.
I am rolling to see if something happens. It has not happened yet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did not want to
If
know
it happens,
that.
I will.
Yep.
I will let
We'll
you
be
know.
the first to know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just thank you. Now I don't have to question it anymore. Thank you.
I did not want to know that.
We know.
Yeah. So 22 and a 19. So, hey, I figure this is payback for me constantly rolling a d20 for 30 minutes on Saturday. Yes.
So we're cooking and we're cooking. We got some rice and the beans.
So-
and we're cooking and we're cooking.
You actually do a pretty decent job of cooking this meal. It is not a gourmet dish by any means, but it is edible rather.
I mean, we have edited some of these MREs. I guess that's what
Yeah.
cooking is.
Yes.
Did you edit
absolutely.
ingredients?
Edited.
So in a way, you're saying
it
it's
is-
a kid's cuisine.
Kind of. It's edible, and it doesn't taste bad.
High praise.
It tastes like an MRE. It's not great, but it's not bad. And it's filling and nutritious.
This is delicious, you two. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
M5, do you want any?
Hello, Sentinel Billy. I am not able to ingest organic food.
That's a no. No, Billy.
Billy puts a spoonful right next to the helmet and tries to feed it.
Mark doesn't have a mouth. Mark, Billy.
Please cease this activity. It is getting food in my microphone slot.
Oh, okay. And then Billy just eats it.
God, I love Billy.
Conrad, you're wanting to do this spell.
Yes.
This is going to be a big one, so it's going to cost a dark point.
Gladly.
All right.
Can I help?
Go ahead and roll magic engineering.
You got an advantage on
you
the
c-
board you could use.
I was gonna ask if I could.
You do have an
if I
advantage.
could. I have to do it before I roll. Is that right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Is that okay, Michael? I think it was
Yeah.
your one. Okay. I'm gonna snag the advantage because we don't have like advantage from helping. That's
No, that will just boost your score.
yeah.
So yeah, Gwen, if you want to go ahead and roll as well to use your dark magic, you can see if you can help make this a little bit better of a roll.
Ooh.
Okay. But I'm eating the advantage.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, good thing. Well,
20. Okay.
I got 29.
And 29 from Xavier. So yeah, Callan, you've got a 20. Xavier's got a 29. So that'll help you. So
and I will-
we'll call that the same as a 25 essentially in this case.
dark points up to 2.
And yes, you take a dark point.
2 of 7.
I'm gonna use a D6
Okay.
if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
To add to my roll. Because this is 29.
It will not help you in this case.
Oh, okay.
If
you can
you
add
were
it-
the one taking point on it, it would.
You can add it to
but
mine if you
since
want.
you're just helping.
Or like I can do it. You can roll if you want in roll 20.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
mind. This feels like an important one.
Sure.
Yeah.
I am spending part
It
of my
is.
soul on this. So like,
It's why I spent the $5 so we could have an advantage on a board.
That was a 2, so that
Yeah.
bumps it up to 22.
a noble mighty
Okay.
22, Raven. I will delight in pointing out.
So basically, it puts you at a 27.
22 is
total.
huge.
Yeah,
It's
so
massive.
27
Yeah.
is huge.
A 27 is pretty darn good, and yes, the advantage was very good because a 15 you would not have
We'd be in
succeeded.
dire straits. Thank you,
Yeah.
Michael.
So, with the collective effort of everyone, including Michael the player
Yeah.
gifting the advantage, yes, you managed to basically cast a stealth field, if you will. So much like you had the light dome of protection, you have a darkness dome that hides you.
Yes.
Donate to win.
Yeah, yeah, I like the I'm just sort of attached to the imagery of like the having lived underground for so long that like Conrad's dark magic sort of looks like these this sort of deep purple sort of bioluminescent light.
Perfect.
So yeah, just these little little motes of light, kind of like drifting up from the ground in a circle around all of us, and kind of like very sort of the land of fairy. These little, almost like purple will-o-wisps in the air, kind of just drifting around.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
I like it because, like, you have the glow-in-the-dark paint that's Kira, like, lighting up right alongside it, almost like you have the dark and the light.
Yeah, the purple and the orange, right? Like purple and sort of gold, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Everyone, catch your breath for a moment. I don't know what's bad.
That's
I'm
for-
assuming
Come on.
that like.
Come on, hit me! Come on, hit me! I'm ready!
A dark purple robe with stars on it for Conrad. Basically dark wizard robes. You find that in oddly in one of the apparel sections. Maybe it was a Halloween costume or something.
That glows in the dark.
It's
so that way.
yeah.
It's sort of maybe it starts to glow once it like gets hit by the radius of our spell.
It's got like glow in the dark stars on it, and it's actually, because it's an outdoor store, it's actually really well insulated, so you can wear it as like a coat if it gets cold.
Delightful.
It's sort of like a camping, hiking, outdoorsy
Robe.
Halloween costume.
Excellent. How pragmatic.
It's for, when you need to LARP in cold weather
Yes,
environments.
that's right.
Exactly.
For the responsible LARPer.
Exactly.
I'm going to get one of those now because that sounds amazing.
Right. You should just start a whole line of those.
I think in real life it costs
like,
more
hey.
than 2,000 channel points. If only.
It costs more like $2,000
Yes.
dollar bills.
Dollar bills.
It's like, hey, do you live in rural Alaska? Do you like to LARP? Have we got the costumes for you?
Chill, but
Really
there is a
cornered the
LARPing
market.
community there.
So yeah, you find one of those, oddly enough. And amazingly, over the course of the evening, Alex, amazingly, over the course of the evening, everything leaves you alone.
Excellent.
Nothing seems to notice you here at all whatsoever.
I don't know. This is for sure Callan sort of like fishing a little bit, but the I like to think that the expenditure of a dark point maybe comes with some benefits in that Conrad doesn't like this was this sort of like a powerful expenditure of magic such that this field was created, and then Conrad can go to sleep, or does he have to miss out on sleep for the night?
No, you can sleep.
So yours costs dedication and a sort of night of prayer, Billy. Mine just costs something else.
Yeah, I know.
Just a small piece of
I
your
thought,
eternal
I thought you were
soul.
going the route of this robe was the benefit
yeah.
of me paying.
After the spell, Conrad just looks like a little bit of the color sort of falls away from his skin, and his eyes get like a little bit bloodshot.
Is there
kinda-
purple
Probably
like
a little-
veins near?
It's only 2 points.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know what.
I was gonna say your eyes probably give like a temporary purple glow to them.
That's right. My iris is
like
like I have purple eyes now.
yeah, you got like a little bit of yellow on one of your irises, but the purple parts have a faint glow to them.
Ooh.
Temporarily.
I sort of like sitting down
so
to
Alex says mine was satin lined, dark green, suede, waterproof fabric, and edges in raccoon fur. That sounds amazing.
So, what
Powerful
is
stuff.
Xavier doing for sleep? Since we just heard what Conrad's gonna do for sleep.
I would share with the group that the I believe that the that spell should prove potent enough that we will be able to rest without being disturbed. If anyone would still like to go through the precautions of keeping watch, I wouldn't begrudge you, but I think I need to sleep, and Billy, you need to as well.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know that either of us should be sacrificing
Seriously.
any of it.
Both of you sleep. I slept all day yesterday, pretty much.
Perhaps you and Nira could take it in turns if it doesn't come too difficult for you. But if you need to rest, I believe we are safe in here. I believe it wholeheartedly, but I would not begrudge you for wanting to be sure.
Xavier sits cross-legged on the edge of the barrier.
Okay.
Just
So, over the course of the evening, it's rather uneventful. Do you all do anything in the evening other than sleep?
Billy would actually pray before going to sleep to Kira to kind of like just give her.
That's actually a very good idea.
Yeah, basically, even if Kira may not hear it, does pray and gives them a sit rep, but like, okay, here's what we did today, and I know you already talked today, but I just wanted to check in, make sure you're okay. Here's what we did. I know
Writing
you
letters
probably
from
already
camp.
know.
Xavier also prays, but when Xavier prays, it's more along the lines of, "Oh, great and glorious fish goddess, I don't believe in your deity, but I believe in your power. So, thank you for all of your gifts."
So basically, like, hey, fish god, I don't really think you're a god, but thanks for the stuff that you give me. So
all the free bits.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
I think.
All right.
Would you like an empathy roll?
No, that's okay. You're able to. Praying is a free action.
I think we'll make good use of that in some of the combats to come.
Yeah, which I think that might actually have to be the raid call now.
It's pretty good.
I don't know why that just made me laugh.
What?
Praying is a free action.
Praying is free action. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you.
Yeah, so, yeah, you actually feel, you don't have any real proof or anything like that, but you feel like, yeah, Kara heard me and appreciated the information. You get the sort of sense that she's still too weak to directly communicate back with you. But you do just have, you know how like when you're in a room and it's pitch black and you don't really hear anything, but you can tell somebody else is in the room with you?
Yeah.
That's sort of the feeling. It's like a presence. You don't hear anything, you don't physically feel anything, but you can just tell that someone was on the other end listening.
And Billy ends it with, "I love you, bye-bye."
That's adorable. You could feel them breathing, kinda. It's like that, but not in a creepy way.
Kinda.
Sounds too creepy, though.
Xavier, you get this. You get the same sense. There's no sound. There's no touch or anything like that. You feel that there's a presence. So, next day comes around. Conrad, I'm assuming you sort of dismiss the stealth dome, if you will.
once the sun is up and we're sort of packed and ready, Conrad sort of like he's looking like some of the color has been restored, but he just looks like a tiny bit more sickly than he did yesterday. A little bit sort of like thinner, looking like a tiny bit shaken. Just sort of closes his hand like that, and all the lights just fade away. And sort of a rattling exhale. Oh, that seemed promising. Made it through the whole night sort of unperturbed.
Yeah. There's still some embers here. Do you guys want to have some more beans before we go on?
I suppose we could prepare some for the road, but I think that the pattern.
Warm, so
of course.
That's a good point. We're in a nature store. Trail mix.
I think we found everything that was in here worth finding during the evening.
Well,
I don't imagine that any new trail mix would have manifested unless you ask loudly enough. Apparently.
Well, let's see. Like, would it? I don't think kind of like, because if it doesn't have M&Ms in it, is it really trail mix?
I don't know. I don't know the shelf life of M&Ms, but I think it's less than 300 years.
Yeah, so they've probably already been dissolved back to atoms or dust. Ooh, they're dust in the wind. Are we breathing M&Ms then?
Really got existential kind of immediately today.
Yes, yes, please.
Let's use the last of the fire. Let's warm up some beans and let's start moving. We got to make
If it doesn't have chocolate, it's not trail mix. Yes.
All right. We have to make the most of our daylight hours because every night is costly, dangerous. I mean, dangerous.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing that there is to find is a handful more of those MREs of various flavors. So you're all able to pack up and get moving. You're not very far from where the Sentinel headquarters is. Do you take a direct route, or do you try to sort of stay hidden and go around it and scout things out first?
Billy's gonna go direct unless someone else indicates.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Billy, can I indicate something for you?
Oh yes, you can certainly indicate things. I love it when people indicate things for me.
Excellent. I thought just as much. Kara, who you seem to be growing sort of more fond of by the day, did seem to indicate that it would behoove us to be cautious where we have the time available to do so. This building, I imagine, will be of some great value to us during today's exploits. We know that the sunlight hours only really aid us much outdoors. Once we get inside, once there's darkness, these creatures can ignore the sun at their leisure. So we have an entire day out here to make this very short journey. I think the best thing for us to do would be to go as slow as we can, use these daylight hours to be quiet, to get a kind of lay of the land, and then we can go in with the most information possible.
That doesn't seem real, but I'm gonna believe you're right.
Doesn't seem real?
If you want to be stealthy, we can be fast as well.
Certainly. I guess I mean more that we have the time to take things a little bit slow today. By the nature of, we know we will reach the tower before the sun sets. We have an incredible bounty of time. So let's take a more cautious route and let's see if we can work out what it is we might be up against approaching this place.
You think there's scrap and other people might get at it? That's
yes.
thinking.
I suppose it is, Billy.
Maybe. Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Is it?
Billy? Yes. We need all we can get in supplies and stuff to keep us going.
I suppose. Okay, here we go. Yes, let's sort of yes and this, Xavier. The if this was the headquarters of the Sentinels, it would sort of track then that there's entirely a chance that we would find additional marks and twains the closer we get to the building. So the more circuitous a route we can take, the greater the likelihood that we will sort of find a greater bounty of helmets to add to our ever-growing collection.
That's what I meant. Thank you.
Right, Billy?
Billy
If we go-
just has like hard eyes at the moment.
All right, let's go. I see we've won you over. Let's talk in a whisper if we can. A stage whisper.
Okay.
Ooh.
Quick reminder: you do have the walkie-talkies.
Mm-hmm.
And I will give you this as well. You found some because it is an outdoorsy store. You find some of those I forget what they're called, but they're like the type of microphone that actually goes on your neck,
Oh,
right at your
yeah.
throat.
Oh yeah.
That's like a contact microphone, so that you can talk really quietly and still be heard.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So in the hunting section, you find some of those that you're able to use with the walkie-talkies, with the little earbuds. So you're able to talk to each other pretty well.
Okay. Oh,
With really low volume, so that you don't track attention.
between my mechanical and Xavier's technological sort of expertise, we'll rig all them up and then hand one out to each of us. We could perhaps, to cover more ground here, if you all are worried about speed, we could split into groups of 2 if you really feel it necessary. Just to if we wanted to sort of do a lap around the tower and meet behind it.
Okay.
I say tower. I'm kind of just assuming.
Okay. I'll go this Burt Macklin.
Burt Macklin? What's up, Xavier? Do you not? Is that a wrestler,
No.
Billy?
Who
It's a
is that?
special agent.
Special Agent Burt Macklin.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
guessing at this point, Billy just has some little trees, has a face behind, and just yes.
Right, well, who's going with Billy? Well, if we're doing 2 and 2.
I am going with Billy.
Okay,
So it'll be Nira and Conrad then.
certainly.
I'm just wondering who Burt Macklin is.
Put our sort of bakery expertise to the test.
Yes. All right. In that case, I will give you the option. It'll be a joint roll, so you'll both roll, and then we'll take the total of both of your rolls. But you both have to roll the same thing. So Billy and Xavier, you can roll blend in or naturalist.
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 Okay. Go ahead and have you both roll for that.
Oh, that's 19 plus 4 is 23.
27.
Okay, so that's a 50 total. All right, and then for Conrad and Nira, blend in or naturalist.
Could we make a case? I'm awful at all of this stuff, so I'm not barracking for me. I'm trying to do Econorlax justice.
I think that would be nimbleness or blend
Could
in.
we sort of using the sort of Nira's sort of innate nimbleness and Conrad trying to keep up, use that? Otherwise,
It's gonna be
blend in.
It's gotta be naturalist or blend
Okay.
in, which for Nira is equal on
Yeah,
both.
yeah.
so-
I'm just looking at it now. Let's just do. Feels like blend in would be more appropriate.
Okay.
So if I just click on her character sheet, does it? Oh, you've got it.
Yeah, I went ahead and did it.
Excellent. Oh, what's just so insane?
Oh.
What a team.
You should use a d6.
I mean, 15 is the DC for the lowest degree of success, right?
It is.
Sorry, we're using the total though, so that's 21.
Yeah, it's 21
so need to
total.
roll
It's
a
still
4.
not
Could juice
great.
it with a D6 and hopefully get it to 25. There's a coin toss.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use one of my d4s.
How optimistic.
The DM d4s
Have to be a 4, right?
to add on to that. Oh,
How benevolent.
so it's 13 plus 9, so you're at a 24.
13 plus 9, 22, unfortunately.
22? Okay.
Much as I would like to do this skewed math.
Did you want to use a d6?
Is that alright, gang?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we want a 3 or higher. Woo! Let's do it. 24.
We'll just
Takes a village.
okay. I'll be nice. We'll call it a 25. It's close enough. So Billy and Xavier with a 50 on Naturalist, you are able to find the routes that give you the highest ground while keeping you the most hidden from just natural cover. So while you're not moving particularly stealthily, you are moving very tactically. Tactically?
Tactically?
You're using good tactics. And so you're able to sort of survey the surrounding area really well without being detected. Conrad and Nira, you're trying to be sneaky. You do creep up on the place pretty easily, and you're able to get a good up close look. And
I like to think the like Nira is doing very well, but she is not used to having a tag along, and specifically not a tag along that is almost 3 times her height. And so there's a lot of like, you know, she'll sort of run up to a bit of cover and like and sort of peer out from it. And then you've just got an entire idiot boy also standing above that same cover saying, so what are we doing here, Nira? And it just fully exposed while she's very well hidden.
yeah. So, but amazingly, neither of you are detected.
Oh.
So first off, I'll give you Billy and Xavier. You're able to scout out the building, and it is sort of a tower. It's not like a medieval type tower where, you know, there's just like one little door. There's staircases going up to it. But it's more of a spire, if you will. So it's easy to get into. It's just that the building is narrow and very tall. And you can see there is some sort of broadcasting equipment up on the top of the building. And you're able to tell that whatever controls that is going to be somewhere inside. There are 3 entrances on the most easily accessible level where you all could go in or exit out of. And you do see, even during the day, 3 or 4 of those shadow creatures moving around. Conrad, you being able to get close, you and Nira spot on one of those entrances somebody standing just inside the doorway to one of those entrances. Something that Xavier and Billy were not really able to spot.
Okay.
And what you see looks like someone's in full Sentinel armor. And the helmet, which would normally, kind of obscure the face, seems to have sort of a clear face shield. But inside, all you see is dark, except for 2 glowing purple eyes. And it seems to gesture to the shadow creatures, and they seem to obey its orders.
Ooh.
And that's what's standing in the main entrance. And that is going to be where we end our session tonight.
So we have an anti-sentinel.
Yes.
It would appear so.
Yeah, we need to befriend this.
Oh, you
We
Let him
absolutely.
befriend this. That's so sweet.
I mean, that's what Xavier wants to do.
That's
No,
not what
we're gonna-
Billy wants to do.
I mean-
We're gonna rumble.
I mean,
I want a
no-
new friend.
anything's an option.
Anything.
I want a new friend.
Let's try diplomacy. Who knows?
Please.
You never know.
Please,
Well,
I want
hold
a new
on.
friend.
Remind me, which group noticed him first?
I don't think you all have noticed the sentinel yet.
Conrad and Nira are the only ones who have seen this person. However, you do all have walkie-talkies, so you could instantly transmit that information. If
Yeah,
you so
that was
So
choose.
gonna be
it
the first thing.
depends.
First thing Conrad is gonna do.
Okay.
And then Xavier's gonna whisper, let's befriend them.
Let's do it.
Yes, friend them.
Man.
Quotation mark.
Let's
How
try.
so?
Let's try at least once.
Yes.
On
Let's
that
try
note,
with
We'll
our
find out
best.
next week.
We'll find out. But we are going to do favorite moments and where we can find everybody next and all that. So we're going to do reverse order. So starting with Callan, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else you'd like to promote or talk about?
Goodness. That was delightful as always, gang. Always so much fun. I was racking my brain trying to think of it as we were approaching the end. There, something that Michael said, that Billy said, that broke me, but for the life of me, I couldn't remember it. It was something after we sort of like made our way to the camping store. But just like Billy in general had a lot of really good stuff this episode.
Oh, you mean we're breathing M&Ms now?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was something excellent there. There were a bunch of good bits. I really enjoyed the
No,
sort of.
it was when we first got there. I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember what Billy said.
It's fine. I
Oh,
enjoyed
it was
the
about
moment.
how like they were really. I know it was like some food like you thought was very gross on the response. Like you were.
Oh,
just like,
sorry. It's still
Oh,
got ghosts in it, so
the
it's
finger.
fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, that's how you know it's good. It's still got the
Yes,
ghosts in it. Yes.
absolutely.
No, that's the best thing you've ever said. That was so
the
good.
best thing ever.
Yes.
That was pretty
That
great.
was it. Thank you so much. I got to experience it twice. No, that was excellent. That was so much fun. All of it as always, and really excited to see how things go next week. Hopefully have the whole gang back together.
Yes.
Yes, that'll be lovely.
Greatly missed Technolax.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We love you
Totally.
all.
Everybody. But that was great. You can find me here delighted and overjoyed next week. And otherwise on Twitter at the name. Thank you all for having me once again. Thank you, Raven, for the episode.
Absolutely. Gwen, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else you'd like to share or promote?
Oh my gosh! How do I pick a favorite part? Let's see. There was the beginning where we were arguing, where we were talking in the corner, and the god was like, "Can you hurry it up?" And then we get to the store, and then Billy's hilarious, and then we get to the third place, and we're just Pink Panthering it up.
Constantly assailed
pretty
by
good.
D100s.
Oh yeah, that was my least favorite part.
That was my favorite.
Oh, goodness. And where can we find you next?
You can find me next. Wait, tomorrow's Tuesday.
Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Yes, there's a thing on Tuesday. I don't know what it is. Someone does.
TikTok, right?
No, that's Wednesday. Hunters of Calamity is tomorrow, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Yes. I also have to do that, like, wait, what game is tomorrow? Hunters. Okay, it's Tuesday, or the inverse. What tomorrow's Tuesday? Which game is that?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Billy or Michael rather. What was your favorite part?
Like,
Where can we
again,
find
like
you next?
there's a whole lot of good ones. Like my personal favorite for Conrad was getting permanently a lifetime banned from the library. That's my favorite bit.
That was
Like
great.
everyone, even like,
I was not aware that Conrad got banned from the library.
no, like roughly
Yeah,
we were
it's
just
just good
going off
improv.
of like
Yeah.
like how we were all gonna sneak. We all like Xavier and Billy establishing that, oh, we just sneak you in. Oh,
Exactly.
I know, like just was that whole conversation. I loved it.
That was
It
good.
was just such a
And
good
then-
bit.
And then Conrad's like, so you do like magic? I'm like, depends whether it's useful or not.
Lots of good banter.
Just so this is established, Nira is Eagle 1. Conrad, it happened in a dream once, and Xavier, Eagle 2.
Excellent.
That's great.
Yes.
You can find me on Twitter at Michael Wayne. If for something to promote, Critical Pins, which is a great little Kickstarter that's already gotten to 50% of their goal right now. Like, come on, like it is very good, like pins by a great designer, like great guys these gals, folks, non-binary pals, like it's all good. Like great people involved with it. If you can, go for it. Like I still think like there's you can still get like I think a couple of like the pre-bonus things where like you can get some for $9. I'm not sure if that's already ran out, but like they even have like for stretch goals of they, them, she, her, he, him pronouns that range in colors when they are unlocked. Worth checking out if you haven't already.
Awesome. My favorite part is probably when like you were talking to Kara, and you know you've literally discovered and are face to face talking to a goddess, and you all go, hold on a sec, and you just have your like little huddle, and you know she's just standing there like, you know, I've just been trapped in this box, you know, hundreds of years, and this is the first, you know, contact I've had with anyone
What's a few more
face
minutes?
to face in that time.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, you kids take your time over there, have your little huddle. That was my favorite part. Because it's so just quintessential this group of kids. It's like, oh, there's a very important person. Hold on, we're just gonna have a little huddle. The whole thing was great, though. I very much enjoyed all of it. Numerous fantastic highlights, but I think that one was probably my favorite out of all of it. You can find me next tomorrow, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's Mountain and Eastern Daylight Time. Now that we've done the swap over to the new time, or I'll be DMing Hunters of Calamity, which is our Monster of the Week Borderlands-inspired game. It has been a dumpster fire on wheels, and I mean that in the best way possible because it's been hilarious. And tomorrow's going to be really fun because at the end of the last episode, they were all standing around a vehicle with a bomb in it, which had about 3 seconds left on the counter when they discovered it. So we're going to find out what happens when the counter reaches 0 tomorrow. I'm excited. But yeah, we're going to go on a raid. We're going to go raid Milady Saito. Fantastic streamer, fantastic person, and she's streaming some D&D. So definitely give her a follow if you're not doing so already. And then I will see you all tomorrow. Raid Cry is prayer is a free action.
Excellent.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.